I wish I could get this homeless person on my channel to interview them because the following video is amazing. You're going to witness a modern day Diogenes, which is schooling what appears to be a middle class liberal American who came into his living room in order to start stuff that didn't have to be started. So let's listen to the arguments and we can draw our own conclusion.
Why are you flipping me off, bro?
Why are you taking my picture, bro?
Because there should be housing for you.
Right, so notice how the left-leaning individual is very concerned about the homeless population. And of course, due to empathy, he is going into this man's living room, taking a picture of him, and then putting it online in order to gather support. Like, we need to do more for the homeless population. And this, of course, is out of empathy.
I don't want housing.
And now this is where the problem starts, right? Like when the ideologue, which is representing a group of people, in other words, this individual is representing the homeless. Look what happens when a homeless person disagrees.
Then, so what do you want? Just to sit here then?
Yeah. It's my country, ain't it?
Yeah, but this isn't sanitary. We all live here.
It's not unsanitary.
What gives you more right than me?
How is it unsanitary?
Look! What do you mean? You should want better for yourself.
I like it like this. I like the fresh air.
No, I got you, but we all have to... What if somebody's handicapped and they need to get by? They can't.
They got 36 inches.
Notice how well versed in the legislation this modern day Diogenes is, like 36 inches.
Somebody on a mobile bike can't get through here.
Right, so now, okay, the empathy of the liberal is moving away from the homeless, and he also is very careful about the people with the mobile bikes. Like, the empathy knows no bounds. Right? It's interesting how the empathy only functions in order to justify why the person taking the footage should impose their will on other people. Like, he's not actually going there and giving this person money. He is not actually finding someone with a scooter that's unable to cross, which, by the way, has the 36 inches. No, but, like, he's very compassionate and empathetic and tells you how you need to live your life for the betterment of others, and you have to put him in a position of authority.
So your freedom's more important than somebody else's. No, see, this is the problem. You think you're more important than somebody else.
Right? So now he's attacking the homeless person. Look how easy it shifted from compassion and empathy to direct attacks.
Sit here and talk to the homeless guy and hold up traffic. Maybe somebody's got to go to the hospital.
You see that? You see how that guy just expects? He just thinks that he is more important than everybody else. This is the sense of entitlement.
Right, so now he's calling the homeless people entitlement. It is astonishing, right? And it's not just this individual. I mean, he's an example, but in my life, I have seen countless of activists doing the exact same thing. Like, if you look a little bit about Romanian history and you see the actual communists that would talk for the working class, the moment the worker would say, like, I don't want what you're advocating, he would attack the worker. Like, the worker would then become from a member of the people to an enemy of the people, just like that. The moment the worker opened his mouth, boom. New status achieved. Enemy of the people. Feminism. I have seen many YouTubers that were feminists. And the moment a woman disagreed with them and said, hey, you know what, like, I kind of like gender roles, like, I just want to be a stay-at-home wife and cook and stuff, like, that's what I choose for myself, she would become an enemy. Like, oh, internalized misogyny, you don't know what you're talking about, the patriarchy is in your brain. Look at the anti-racism advocates. The moment you have, like, a black person that's a Republican and see how they're attacking. Like, I do not know how ideologues have managed to spin PR in their favor so much that it convinced people they are being empathetic, when in reality they are using empathy as a weapon to justify why they should be placed in a position of authority. Because I have seen on the internet and in my life many people who cannot reach by their own merit into a position of authority, like a CEO or a university professor, like someone who has legitimacy over other people. And instead, what they do is, like, they try to take an ideology that's very moralistic in nature, which justifies them lecturing other people how they should believe, how they should live their life. Now, what's interesting is that in the case of atheistic ideologies, this is more evident than in the case of a religious ideology. Because there are people who also are not capable of reaching higher status, but would use religion in order to throw Bible verses or Quran quotes at other people who do not live their life to the ideologue's expectation. But the thing with religion is that you will never have God descend from the heaven and lecture the religious fundamentalist and say, hey, you're misinterpreting my religion. Like, you're not supposed to do that. That's not how I written it. I'm willing to bet that if that happened, like if you had an angel coming down from the heavens and lecture the preacher and say, hey, you know, like, you're not interpreting it correctly. Like, this is not what it means. I wouldn't be surprised if those people would freak out in a very negative way. Because this is what happens with atheistic ideologies. Like, for example, when a communist talks about the workers, and a worker comes up and say, hey, shut the fuck up. Like, this is not what we believe, okay? The ideologue always freaks out when that happens. But I did grow up around religious people because I went to an evangelical high school. And many of them were giving Bible quotes and lecturing others how they should live their life. But, like, I never seen them actually try to help someone that they would lecture. You know, like, someone is having financial problems and they would try to help them out. Or someone is having certain difficulties. No, like, they were only interested in religion in the part where they could moralize and preach others. Obviously not all, but the ones that I grew up with were like that. And that what I found a little bit disturbing. But as I grew up, I realized, no, it's actually human nature. Like, many people are willing to do this. And it's not necessarily left-leaning, right-leaning. Like we also saw during the pandemic with how some of our friends and acquaintances would lecture others and tell others how they should social distance and whatnot. But when you actually follow them, they wouldn't follow the social distancing either. They wouldn't always mask up. Like sometimes they would wear the diaper, the chin diaper and what. But like they would be willing to tell other people how to properly do it, right? Very interesting. I guess like it's a part of human psychology, but it's just so much more evident when you look at some of these Americans on TikTok during these very interesting displays of empathy and compassion, and sometimes the video goes a little bit forward and it shows you that they actually do not care. Another American tradition is the not in my backyard, right? So in order to be a good environmentalist, you have to drive a private jet, you have to have a yacht, you have to moralize the peasantry on how they should live their life. And of course, this is out of empathy and compassion for the planet. Right? But anyway, right, I absolutely love this take with the modern Diogenes. Wish I could have him on my stream. This is what I like to call the difference between wisdom and intelligence, right? Like intelligence is when someone goes to a university, memorizes all of the knowledge there and becomes educated. But you can't learn wisdom. Like wisdom is something that certain people have, and they just intuitively know things without necessarily being able to explain why they know them. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.